Hey folks, welcome or welcome back. So if you are a first-time viewer of this, my nickname is Dag, and I am obsessed with giant scale model aircraft. And my lifetime mission has basically been aviation since as long as I can remember. I got involved with model airplanes back in the 70s and radio control around 1980. And over the years, people have asked me to post videos about my experiences. So if you're new here, you're basically just going to hear me talk about what works for me, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff out there on YouTube and in the world where people talk about things, but they've never really done it, or they act like they're experts, and I hate the word expert, but they give a lot of information out there that doesn't work for people or it costs them money. And I'm really against that. So I try to share with you only my experiences. And in this video, we're going to talk about me having to cancel a project because it just become a money pit. And it's overweight. It's missing all the specs I initially intended it to do. And I'm always pushing myself with my designs. Like the yellow and blue airplane in this screen you see right here is 188-inch wingspan, almost all balsa wood, electric 6,000 watt model airplane, but it only weighs 58 to 59 pounds, and that's really light for a 188-inch wingspan airplane. But I tried to go down the path of doing an all pink styrofoam transport plane, a cargo plane, and it just turned into a disaster, and I just have to kill it. Now the plane's still going to get built, but it's going to be all balsa wood, so I'm starting all over with the design. Before I get too far into this, I do want to do a shout out to an awesome company I partner with, and it's RTL Fasteners, okay? And if you need bolts, nuts, wood screws, cap screws, you need blind nuts, nylocks, whatever you need in fastening, they probably have it. Cool thing is if you go to their website and you spend more than $25 and use code DAG25, you will get 25% off the order. So spend more than $25 and you can get 25% off that order if you use DAG25. So I want to get into this crazy airplane. And if you followed me for any amount of time, you know I always will tell you we don't learn things unless we push ourselves, or unless we're experimenting, or unless we are trying to go outside our comfort zones, okay? I got so bored with building kits and having ARFs that I started designing my own airframes about 12, 13 years ago, and that's all I do right now is basically design my own airframes and then build the airplane. I mean, I do have some ARFs. I got a Flex Cessna 170, which is one of the greatest flying airplanes I've ever owned. But my creative juices is designing something from nothing. So this plane was going to be epic. It's going to have spoilers on the wings. It's going to have leading edge devices that drooped. They weren't slats, because I had some Karens come out of the woodwork and go, those aren't real slats. Well, do your history. There's drooping leading edge devices, and then there's slats, folks, okay? It was going to be a 4-motor plane. It had 2 tractors pulling, 2 pushers. It was going to be absolutely insane. Problem is it's nowhere near the weight I thought it would be. I know balsa wood and carbon fiber and fiberglass really well. I can pretty much tell you when I design an airplane within 5% what it's going to weigh. This airplane is out of control weight-wise. Now, the reason that matters is I'm a huge fan of the AMA, Academy of Model Aeronautics, and they have, if you're under 55 pounds, you don't really have to do anything except fly the airplane, okay, and enjoy the airplane. But if you're over 55 pounds and under 77 pounds, like 3 ounces or something like that, you have to go through the LMA 1, which means you can self-inspect the airplane, but you have to have somebody like a CD, contest director, or somebody witness you fly it and then sign the documentation. So you're basically getting a waiver from the AMA that it's okay to fly your plane that's over 55 but under 77 3 ounces. And I might be saying that wrong. I should know it because I've done videos about the LMA program, large model aircraft program. But the moment you go over the 77 3 ounces, you go into LMA 2, large model aircraft category 2. And at that, you have to have an AMA inspector airplane, which means they need to basically know your airplane from the moment you start building it. If you're ever going to build an LMA 2 type airplane under the AMA, you should have that inspector come out and visit you while you're building the airplane. Because they'll see inside the wing, they'll see your spar, they'll see your hinges, they'll see everything. Well, this airplane is so close to being an LMA 2, which means I can't carry a lot of cargo in it. I mean, this plane it's got a 240-inch wingspan. It was designed to carry like bowling balls and model Hummers and just anything I could drop out with a parachute delivery system. And my target was to carry at least 15 pounds in it, which means you'd have to go 15 minus the 77 pounds, and I could fly it. Right now the plane looks to be 72 pounds, or closer to 74. Now, I went through I have spent so much time on this airplane that I got to quit, and money. I've got to stop. It's almost like the Artemis program. You know, if it wasn't for all the politicians having people making money off building Artemis would have been killed a long time ago. But I can't afford an Artemis. I'm not the government. You know, I don't have endless amounts of taxpayer money I can throw at this pink foam airplane. So basically, I built the airplane 90%, put it in storage because it was a lead sled. I brought it home. I had to cut it back in half to get it into my basement. I designed an attachment system that would attach the front and back together so I could fly it. And it worked out really good. The attachment system, and I did an update video already on it, but it had aluminum hard points. It had some 3D printed parts that held the skin together. It was just a really sexy design, and it worked perfectly. But I want you to understand the sheer size and scale of this airplane. I was really trying to hit like 62 pounds or 63 pounds as my all up ready to fly weight. And I'm closer to 72 to 74 pounds, which only left like 5 pounds of cargo I could carry. Now, I know a lot of you are going to really be upset with me that have been following this project, that have been dying to land your drone in the tail end of this airplane. But because it's got a huge cargo bay, it was 20 by 20 inches, 8 feet long. Okay. But there's a time comes where I just have to face reality, no matter how painful it is, that this airplane missed the mark. And it's 100% my fault. But I was experimenting. I was trying, you know, I'd seen so many people build with pink foam and all these airplanes, and I knew, okay, I've already done tests in my own little kind of like micro studies of taking white foam, cutting it with a hot wire, sheeting it with balsa wood, then glassing and painting it. And I know what per square foot that weighs. And it's about, balsa wood construction is about 30% lighter than that. So I knew that going into this, that this might not be the lightest way to do it, but it would be the easiest and fastest way. Because, I mean, I built this whole fuselage in like 3 days. Okay, I built the outboard wing panels in like a week. So this airplane went really, really quick. So my idea was, when I started to go overweight, was to take the outboard wing panels and build them out of balsa wood. So I knew what the equipment would weigh in the wings. I knew what the wings would weigh basically if they were balsa within 10%. But once I got this back into my shop, I pulled off all the fiberglass, which was 2.8 ounce. I delaminated the entire fuselage, the nacelles and everything, and recovered it with 0.75 glass cloth. And it saved a couple of pounds. It didn't save anywhere near what I thought it would save. Okay. So I basically, in the shop, got the airplane put back together, started putting motors on it. Okay. I started putting everything in it that I would fly. My 3D printed cowlings, the pusher props, the tractor props, the spinners. Once I got all of that on the airplane, I weighed it. And then I took what I knew the wings were going to weigh, and I came up with, I think it was 73 pounds, 2 ounces or something like that. And that's if I built the wings right. If those wings came in 20% overweight, I'm getting really close to being LMA2, folks. Okay? And I know there's going to be some of you out there that says, who cares, just go fly it. Well, I'm not one of those people. If you've followed me for 10 years, and you know the way I build airplanes, I build everything by the regs. I don't like to be a liar. I don't like to be one that says, oh yeah, my plane weighs 54 pounds, 11 ounces, but it weighs 65 pounds. I know people who've done that. Okay? I'm not that kind of dishonest designer. I'm not going to say, oh, this plane weighs 64 pounds and it's LMA1, but it really weighs 80 pounds. That's not me. Okay? And not to mention, if I had a crash and the insurance company for the AMA weighed my plane and saw it was LMA2, they might not even cover my insurance. Okay? And I don't think this bothers anybody more than me. Okay, I know I'm going to have some of my really close friends just lose their mind that I'm canceling this. But I am going to build another one. The wings are already designed to be built in balsa wood. The nacelles are already designed to be built in balsa wood. The tail feathers are already designed to be built in balsa wood. Only the fuselage is what I got to design, and this fuselage is stupid easy. So to design this in balsa wood and light ply is going to be a no-brainer. This plane will get designed and it will fly one day. But yeah, it's crazy how cool this project is, everybody. But I had to kill it. And another thing that I've learned from it, though, because you know I always like to do videos about where I have success and failures. The copper wire in this airplane that went from the ESCs. Now, if you know anything about electric RC motors, the distance between the battery and the speed controller needs to basically be as short as you can keep it. I keep mine all under a foot. Okay, a 6-inch lead on the ESC and a 6-inch lead on the battery. But between the ESC and the motor can be up to sometimes 10 or 12 feet, depending on the ESC and the motor. As long as the timing works and the motor starts, you're good. So on this airplane, I had all the batteries going to be in the nose, a lot of batteries. I was going to run 3 parallel on this. I wanted about a 20-minute duration flight on this airplane. Okay, so no matter what kind of copper wire I bought, it's going to have a significant weight to it. And when you think of 3 wires times 4 ESCs going from the nose of this airplane back to the motors, I ended up having 2.2 pounds of copper wire in this airplane. And that I didn't account for. And it was those little things, the landing gear on this airplane to hold maximum cargo loaded would be 77 or 76 pounds. Okay, empty, I wanted to be like 62 pounds. But to get this landing gear to support the 77-ish pounds, I redesigned it twice, and it ended up, landing gear itself weighed 8 pounds or 9 pounds. So and that was the main gear. So it's just crazy how it went out of control. And it's nobody's fault but my own. But this was me trying to go someplace I had never gone to build an airplane this big out of pink foam. Okay? So that's it, everybody. Gosh, I know there's going to be people really disappointed, but I'm going to build this. I am so in love with the idea of building this airplane that it's going to get built one day. It's not going to be for at least a year that I'd even start construction, because I've got to finish my ultralight. If you followed me, you know that I love the big electric RC planes, but I'm also building an ultralight, and I'm also a full-scale pilot. I just haven't had my medical in the last 20 years, not because I'm sick, just because flying full-scale got too expensive. But I got to get my ultralight done. That is job one right now, is to get the ultralight done this winter and get it flying in the spring. The MSL2 is still flying. There's some rumors out there I sold it. I have not sold it. I've talked about maybe selling it to lighten up the load in my hangar, because I've just got airplanes everywhere. The MSL1 is going to go on floats one day. I have the motor and ESC for that. So I've got a lot of little things I'd like to get done before I commit to a complete project again. Because the MSL1, my vintage airplane, I'm going to put floats on that and be able to fly it off water. But that airplane's already built. It's just in my attic right now, okay? So I've got a couple of little projects I'd like to do. Well, one is getting the ultralight done, as I just said. I'm being a little redundant there. But the MSL-1 needs to get put on floats, and then I'll probably get back into this airplane and get it built. And being made out of balsa wood, I can frame it up in one winter. I'm going to cover it in monocoat to keep it light, just like the yellow and blue airplane is all monocoat with a little bit of paint on it. But yeah, that's it, folks. So, you know, even if I had an endless budget, I couldn't make this plane any lighter out of the pink foam right now. But I just got to quit throwing money at it. You know that I'm trying to use my YouTube, my Patreon, and some sponsorships to be able to pay for my hobby right now. And it's kind of working. But to actually build these outboard wings and put the leading edge slats in it, which are already designed and 3D printed and everything, to complete this is still another $400. And if the plane's going to end up overweight, I just don't see wasting that $400. And that $400 will buy the covering to cover the wings and tail sections of my ultralight. Okay? So rock on, everybody. Thanks for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. And you know I always in my videos was talking about trying to get kids involved with aviation. I've had a couple of people reach out to me and say that I'm wasting my time about getting kids in aviation. Hey, I understand your perspective. You think that, you know, older people have the money. You think that older people have the time. But when you think about how many times mom and dad drives their kids to soccer practice or football practice or baseball practice, and you think about how much those type of hobbies cost the kid, getting them a park flyer or a drone and getting them to go the path of maybe being an engineer one day or be an aviator might be really cool for that kid. Definitely get them away from the video games. So yeah, my mission is to get basically any kid who is basically 6 years old or older into model aviation, because it can take you to so many cool different things in life. So rock on, everybody. I'll see you next time, and please like and subscribe. Take care, everybody. See ya.